It looked like Bria Hartley just got instant karma, bro. She out for the season. I'm here to tell you the most dirtiest player in the WNBA contract has been written, bro. And I'm here to tell you she's out for the season. Yes, you heard me correctly. Yeah, man, Bria Hartley. So Connecticut PR has released a statement. Bria Hartley is to miss the remainder of the season.
Did Bria Hartley just pull off the dirtiest move of the WNBA season and then get slapped with instant karma? Fans are furious after Sophie Cunningham went down with a torn MCL in a collision that looked way too shady to be just part of the game. And what's making it even worse? Fresh footage shows Hartley cracking a smirk right after Sophie hit the ground, fueling the belief that this wasn't just bad luck, it was intentional. But here's the wild twist. The very same player accused of delivering that dirty hit is now sidelined for the entire season herself.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now, clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
The timing feels almost too perfect, like the basketball god stepped in to even the score. Was this just a freak coincidence? Or are we witnessing some real-life instant karma play out on the court? If you're riding for Sophie, drop some love in the comments and wish her a fast recovery. The play itself looked messy from the jump. Sophie took the full hit, crashed straight to the floor, and instantly grabbed her knee. No hesitation, no bounce back. She didn't even attempt to stand up.
Is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
Trainers rushed over in panic. Teammates circled around, and suddenly the entire arena's energy shifted. Instead of a tough shake-it-off moment, Sophie had no choice but to be carried to the locker room. Her face said it all. That wasn't just pain, that was career-shaking pain, and everyone watching knew it. But what had everybody buzzing wasn't just Sophie's injury. It was the picture that dropped right after. With Sophie still laid out on the hardwood, cameras caught Bria Hartley with a smirk stretched across her face.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Timeout.
Should be. A scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
Call it a grin, a laugh, or try to dress it up however you want. But fans saw one thing loud and clear. A player looking like she was enjoying the moment right after her opponent went down clutching her knee. That single frame exploded across social media in minutes, and just like that, the conversation shifted. It wasn't only about the hit anymore, it was about Bria's intent. The accusation came fast and simple. That's not how someone reacts if it's truly an accident. Fans argued the smile spoke louder than any statement, louder than any PR spin. And once that shot started circulating online, the damage was done.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty, dirty player.
Even when Sophie herself tried to cool things down, brushing it off and saying she was just in the wrong spot, it barely made a dent. People weren't buying it. To them, the image told the real story. Sure, fans know basketball is physical, but this didn't look like just another hard foul. This looked personal. What fans couldn't stomach was the idea of a player actually looking pleased while another star lay injured on the floor. That's what made the outrage so explosive. The smirk hit harder because this wasn't Bria Hartley's first brush with drama. She's already had flare-ups and run-ins before, and people hadn't forgotten. So instead of chalking it up as a one-time bad look, that photo instantly became Exhibit A in a growing case against her.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
Commentators and writers wasted no time labeling it the dirtiest play of the entire season. Headlines screamed with outrage, while fans stormed comment sections demanding consequences. And the refs? They got torched too, for swallowing their whistles instead of protecting Sophie when it mattered. The anger wasn't just about one moment on the court. It was about the league itself looking weak. People pointed out the hypocrisy loud and clear. The WNBA is quick to fine players for criticizing refs, but slow to punish reckless, dangerous contact. That double standard had fans fired up, calling out the league for protecting its image instead of its athletes. By the end of the week, this wasn't even about one game anymore.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena typically we'll see
It was about the league's credibility. Was the WNBA finally going to step in and make an example out of Hartley, or was it going to sweep this under the rug yet again? Either way, that one smirk had already locked in Hartley's reputation, because to fans, that snapshot told a story they were already convinced was true. And here's the disturbing part. This wasn't new territory for Bria Hartley. Fans were quick to ask if Sophie Cunningham was just another name on a growing list of players left frustrated, or even hurt, by Hartley's reckless style. The second that viral clip of Sophie's collision hit timelines, people started pulling receipts. And trust, Hartley's record this season doesn't make her look like an unlucky victim.
Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said, to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1-4, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
It makes her look like a repeat offender. These oops moments keep stacking up, and they're not little slips. They're low-light plays that fans can't forget. Earlier this year, Hartley got caught up in a nasty dust-up with Angel Reese. Now, post-play scuffles happen, sure, but fans swear this one crossed a line. Cameras caught Hartley grabbing a fistful of Reese's hair during a rebound battle. That's not a swipe gone wrong. That's a move you can't mistake. Reese's furious reaction told the story, and once the clip went public, Hartley's reputation file got even thicker.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured, and it pisses me off.
But it didn't stop there. Next, Rebecca Allen found herself on the wrong side of Hartley's aggression after taking a shove that had fans pointing fingers all over again. None of these moments drew heavy punishment on their own, but when you pile them together, the pattern is hard to deny. So when Sophie went down, the outrage wasn't just about that one play, it was the breaking point. Because for a lot of fans, it felt inevitable. Sophie Cunningham wasn't the first victim of Hartley's chaos, and she probably won't be the last. The clash with Angel Reese was the boiling point, and by the time Sophie Cunningham hit the floor, fans weren't buying the accident excuse anymore. What they saw wasn't random bad luck, it was a full-blown pattern, and patterns change everything. Hartley's trail of dust-ups was already scattered across the season, so when that smirk showed up, nobody believed it was just bad timing.
Maybe you should focus her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham come out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
People remembered the hair grab on Reese. They remembered the shove on Rebecca Allen. And now, a collision that sidelined one of Indiana's toughest fighters. Stack them all together, and Hartley's reputation looked cooked. The fury only grew hotter because officials kept acting like they didn't see it. Fans blasted refs for letting Hartley's heavy contact slide, then turning around and blowing the whistle on soft, ticky-tack fouls the very next game.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
Where was the consistency? That uneven standard made people think the refs weren't just missing calls, they were complicit. And here's what stung most. Sophie herself had been fined earlier this season for daring to criticize officiating, while Hartley kept targeting players without facing real consequences. To fans, it looked like the league was protecting Hartley while punishing the players who spoke up. That's why the anger didn't just stay with Bria, it spread to the referees and to the league itself.
It stated Connecticut Sun guard Bria Hartley will miss the remainder of the season due to a meniscus tear in her right knee. Injury sustained during team practice. You got hurt at practice? Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. So you mean to tell me her own team hurt her? Oh my God. Her own team hurt her? Oh, man. Oh, dog. This is funny as hell. I should laugh. But damn, dog. How your own team hurt you, bro. Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. Additional updates will be provided.
For a lot of fans, that double standard was just too blatant to ignore. Even Sophie's own family had seen enough. Her sister Lindsay and her mom Paula came forward, openly questioning why the league wasn't stepping in to protect players from reckless hits like this. It wasn't just angry fans anymore. Now it was Sophie's family putting the WNBA on blast, and that pressure hit different. Their outrage matched exactly what Fever supporters had been screaming all season. If the league refuses to act, players will keep getting hurt.
I was like, Bria and I are super cool, and she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but.
Well, Sophie, I got news for you. The universe thought otherwise. They got her ass up out of here, bro. Damn. Which they weren't going to the playoffs anyways, but man, karma's a ish. I just got to keep it real, bro. I mean, this is everywhere.
The call for a suspension came almost instantly. Fans online pulled out receipts from past cases where reckless plays drew discipline, and they demanded Hartley face the same punishment. To them, she was already stamped as a dirty player. The league looked corrupt for letting it slide, and Sophie was painted as the one left sacrificed. The noise was deafening, and by the end of the week, suspension chatter was everywhere. The outrage got so loud, most people assumed the WNBA would have no choice but to hand down some kind of punishment.
I said, wonder if she's grinning now. Oh, instant karma on their ass. Prayers do come true. Some of the same people complaining about injury. Somebody said, man, the storyline of this league is incredible. Man, I did an incredible video talking about the injuries, dog. Somebody said, oh, that's terrible news. That's a voodoo doll. No more head hunting for her.
But just when it looked like Hartley's fate would be decided in a boardroom, the story flipped on its head. Out of nowhere, the Connecticut Sun dropped a shocking update. Bria Hartley wouldn't play another game this season. But it wasn't because of a suspension. It was because of a torn right knee meniscus that immediately ended her year. The timing couldn't have been more uncanny, and fans couldn't help but call it instant karma. The parallels were impossible to miss.
Somebody said this was her karma. She went into every game this year and either tried to bully someone because she knew her team had her back, or she did a dirty play on someone. She knew her team had her back. She never stood up for herself and then injured someone for the whole season. And guess what? Her team ended up injuring her.
And fans wasted no time connecting the dots. Sophie Cunningham had just been ruled out with a torn MCL, a brutal blow for a Fever squad that already felt like the season had been one long gut punch. And now, Bria Hartley, the very same player at the center of Sophie's injury drama, went down with her own devastating knee injury. Both sidelined, both facing long recoveries. But for fans, the difference was glaring. Sophie's setback came from taking Hartley's hit. while Hartley's downfall came as if the universe decided to even the score.
Now look, you can tell Bria Hartley, in my opinion, she launched herself into her knee. She did. And I've seen some of the reaction online, and guys, it's despicable. It really is. There's a lot of people celebrating this injury. And guess what? You can imagine who it is. It's members of the old WNBA fandom, the ones that root for Paige Beckers and Angel Reese and Asia Wilson and all the usual damn suspect.
The instant karma storyline lit up social media in record time. Fever fans who were furious just days earlier suddenly flipped from outrage to vindication. Timelines filled with celebratory posts pointing out the eerie symmetry, with people calling Hartley's season-ending injury justice, poetic payback, and basketball irony. The league might have stayed silent, refusing to label it anything more than bad luck, but fans didn't need an official statement. To them, this was bigger than a medical report.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
It was divine intervention. Whether they called it karma, irony, or straight up payback, the message was loud and clear. The basketball gods had stepped in, and they weren't hunting Sophie. They were hunting Bria Hartley.
I know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I had been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I had nothing but love for Bria. And I even told my mom because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, I get it. But I promise you that I was like, Bria and I are super cool. And she would never try to hurt me because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat because I don't think she meant to.
That twist hit Connecticut hard. Losing Bria Hartley stripped the Sun of a key piece in their rotation, right at the moment when intensity usually spikes for a team built on toughness and physical play. This wasn't just another injury headline, it was a serious blow to their own ambitions. And the cruel irony? The same aggression that gave Hartley her fierce reputation ended up leaving her own team without her. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham kept showing the type of grace that made fans love her even more. Even after being knocked out with a torn MCL, she refused to drag Hartley's name through the dirt. Sophie told fans she held no ill will and still considered Hartley a friend. That kind of response only lifted Sophie's image higher, while fans online kept unleashing anger at Hartley. The contrast couldn't have been more striking. Hartley branded as the villain while Sophie carried herself with calm honesty. In the end, no suspension could have matched the twist of fate itself. Without the league even lifting a finger, Hartley was out.
Officially 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA.
Holy shit. For this? For the pod? Again?
They didn't like my comments on Paige Beckers.
No way.
I didn't even say anything bad.
On the whistle, on the quick whistle.
Yeah, but why?
Gone for the season, off the court, and no longer a threat. That left the spotlight circling back to Sophie Cunningham. Her resilience, her dignity, and her refusal to stay quiet became the real storyline worth watching. And just days after her injury, Sophie made it clear she wasn't about to fade into the background. Sophie's first real sign came straight from Twitter, and it was sharp enough to cut through all the noise. Her post read just 4 words, F around and find out. That one-liner said everything fans needed to hear. Fresh out of surgery, sidelined for the season, Sophie made it clear she wasn't backing down. Not from critics, not from rivals, and definitely not from anyone coming after her or her family.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live. Yeah. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
the tweet was short, bold, and left zero room for misinterpretation. It was Sophie drawing a line in the sand. What made that post even wilder was how different it sounded compared to the way she handled things publicly before. On her own podcast, she had shown restraint, calling Hartley's collision a basketball play, and even stressing she didn't believe there was malicious intent. That side of Sophie was all grace, perspective, and maturity. But the tweet? That was pure fire and defiance. And together, the two moments painted a full picture of Sophie Cunningham, a competitor who shows respect, refuses to hold grudges, but will never let herself get walked over. Fans saw both sides of her, and that duality made them rally behind her even harder. On her podcast, Sophie got brutally honest about the road ahead. She admitted she'd need surgery and that her season was officially done. No sugarcoating, no spin, just real talk about how tough the recovery was going to be. But even while facing that reality, Sophie's tone was confident, leaning on gratitude. She thanked the Fever organization and her teammates for lifting her up during the hardest moment of her career. It gave fans a clear window into her mindset. Yes, she was frustrated, but she chose to frame it all with positivity and determination. Still, her family wasn't nearly as measured. That's when the Cunningham fighting spirit came blasting through. Her sister Lindsay went straight at the WNBA, calling out the hypocrisy of fining Sophie for criticizing refs while letting reckless, dangerous plays slide with zero punishment. And her mother, Paula, didn't hold back at all. She labeled Hartley a disgruntled player, accused her of having issues everywhere she goes, and flat out branded her as mean and out of control. For fans already raging at the refs and the Sun, those words hit like gasoline on a fire. Meanwhile, the Fever were left scrambling. Injuries piled up, hardship contracts had to be signed, and the roster looked thinner by the day. But one thing stood out. This team refused to fold. Even while climbing an uphill battle, the fight in Sophie and her family lit a spark that carried into the whole squad. That resilience came to life in Kelsey Mitchell's monster game against the Sun, dropping 38 points in a statement performance that earned her Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Then, Lexi Hull stepped into a leadership role, proving she could hold the squad together through all the chaos. Even without Sophie on the floor, her toughness spread across the roster like wildfire. And then there's Caitlin Clark. The Fever are playing it cautious with her return, giving only day-to-day updates, but everyone knows what her comeback could mean. Sophie's injury didn't break this team. It exposed their depth, their fight, and maybe even set the stage for something bigger than anyone expected. Sure, Bria Hartley's season-ending injury grabbed the headlines, but that's not the story that will last. The real focus is Sophie Cunningham, her grit, her honesty, and her refusal to let the haters define her. Even sidelined, she flipped an ugly moment into fuel and inspired her entire squad. Look at Indiana now. Kelsey Mitchell still dropping fireworks, Lexi Hull holding the team steady, Aaliyah Boston battling inside, and Caitlin Clark waiting in the wings. Put it all together, and suddenly the playoff picture feels wide open. The league might have failed to protect Sophie, but Indiana doesn't need saving. They're already writing their own comeback story. If you're rocking with Sophie, drop a speedy recovery wish in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss the next breakdown. Share this video with someone who needs the inside scoop, and trust me, the next one, you won't want to miss it. See you there!